If they're there
Right.
1 year and leave, well, hey, last year that fifth class we had, half of them are gone.
Yeah.
So, and I think Coach Summerall can keep them here. I think the good players, the players that want to win championships and move on, of course, everybody wants to do that, it seems like, they will not leave just for the money. If it's a situation that they can make themselves the best player possible and best team possible, then I think they'll stay. But time will tell on all that.
Another Dooley Noted podcast comes to you from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point. Okay, welcome into another Dooley Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging and coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Coach Spurrier will be on a little bit later in the show, brought to you by Meldon Law, and we'll also have Robbie Andrew for Yes, No, Where, Maybe, brought to you by Big Mill's Cheesesteak. We got a lot going on here. So let's get, by the way, Thursday, Eric Rett scheduled to join us. Still working on next Thursday's guest, but Coach Spurrier will be here next Monday. Want to say happy Mother's Day to everybody, belated Mother's Day, but I already said it to my wife, and to everybody out there. Certainly, hopefully everybody had a great day. Let us get to our MoneyMetals.com starting five, brought to you by Money Metals. MoneyMetals.com is your home for gold and silver purchases, one of the largest distributors in all the United States. 2 Gator grads are running it, and you can reach them at 1-800-800-1865 or at MoneyMetals.com. Okay, we'll start off with baseball. That'll be our number one thing on our Money Metals starting five, and because baseball, that was very impressive to win those 2 games. With all the rain, now look, I will say this. All the rain that came and had 2 major delays, had to play a game at 10 a.m. Both those catchers must have been worn out. But to do that, but again, both teams had to do it. So I'd rather be the home team in that case because you've got a comfortable clubhouse, a lot better situation. But obviously they were getting killed in the first game, came back and won it very late at night. I almost 1 in the morning, I think it was, with that big, certainly Brendan Lawson's big hit was part of it. Brendan Lawson apparently coming along a little bit. And then, of course, I didn't play well on Saturday. Sunday, come back and win that game after being down 5-3. Big wins for Florida. They needed them very badly. Caden McDonald is just off the charts, ridiculously good right now. And I don't know it's crazy. It is crazy for a guy. I mean, he did something that only Jack Caglione and Brian Johnson have done at Florida. And that is to pitch over 3 innings and without giving up a run and hitting a homer in a game. He's done it twice. They did it once each, but he's done it twice. He's been incredible, and it was great that I thought that Sully brought up, hey, look, guys, here I'll explain to you why we didn't play him for so long, and now he's this guy who's hitting 375 with multiple homers, and is probably their best reliever, especially long relief. And it's because there were guys that were like they were going to concentrate on pitching. He was coming off Tommy John. And they had guys that had better falls, and they went with them. And then guys got hurt, and when they got hurt, it opened up an opportunity for him, as it has for Hayden Yost, who hit another homer yesterday. And okay, let's go. And he's been incredible. It's just amazing. He's kind of becoming like like a legend, I guess. When you do both, when you're a two-way player. It's softball, it happens a lot more. But baseball, is usually one per team, and maybe they're not great. Maybe Cags was incredible. We know that. Brian Johnson obviously was incredible. But certainly Caden McDonald's doing some incredible things. It is still, though, a weird team. This is because I was looking up some number. Okay, Florida right now is 11th in RPI. And I wrote about this on the back nine. I got to remember where my nines are. Front nine is for the Main Street Daily News. The back nine is for my Patreon subscribers, and please subscribe to Patreon because you get a lot of stuff on there. Plus, you get a lot of stuff on there. I'm just telling you from me because I'm in a writing mood right now. Anyway, I wrote about this, how Florida right now is 11th in RPI. Now you've got the weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday games with LSU at LSU. LSU's struggling, as we know, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But it is, and then you've got at least one SEC game, tournament game. It's single elimination now. So you got 4 more games left. You got to win a couple of them. I mean, I think you to host. I think if you go 0-4, it's not going to be a good look. But the way that they're maybe have found their pitching, I don't know. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. I mean, Aiden King didn't have a great game on Friday. Gave up 5 runs, which I think was the most all year. You know, Peterson was better, but it wasn't enough because they didn't hit that day. And now you've got, Sandifer wasn't particularly good, but then you brought in McDonald, and then you brought in, you got your closer, Reitenhauer, who's, gave up another homer. I don't know. It's just a weird team, but this is the weirdest stat of all, I think. Florida has lost 13 home games this year. 13 home games. Now, part of that is midweek games. They played so poorly in those, but they've lost 13 home games. I had to go down to the 59th team in RPI to find another team that's lost 13 home games, and that was Kansas State. I don't think that's a big home field advantage there at Manhattan. But anyway, so this continues to be a weird team and a weird season. But, hey, they're in position to host at least the first round. Now, I will say this. Let's say you go sweep LSU on the road. I don't know if it helps your RPI that much, but it'll help it some. And then you win a bunch of games in the tournament. Maybe you don't win the whole thing, but you get to the final. There's a possibility you could sneak in as an 8 and get so you could have home field for both. Now, again, I don't know that it matters the way it's gone for Florida this year. It has been a weird year, but hopefully they're finding their mark right now and are ready to get going. All right. Let's get to number 2 on our Money Medals starting 5. That will be softball. The regionals announced yesterday. No big surprise that Florida is going to host and has an opportunity to host both weekends. The good news is I think they got a kind of a soft regional. I'm saying that, and I'll probably be. I don't think Tim Walton's going to like me for saying that. He would probably really won't like me for my hot take for the Main Street Daily News, which you can read about, because I don't think either one of these teams is going to finals, College World Series, baseball or softball. But anyway, the reason I think it's soft is Texas State is the second best team in it. They lost to USA in South Alabama in the conference tournament. They finished 3rd in their conference, the Sun Belt, 31 at RPI. That's the second best team. That's pretty good. Georgia Tech is the 3rd best team. Georgia Tech was among the last 4 in to get into the tournament. So I think it's a pretty soft regional, and that's good. Florida will play at 11 o'clock against Florida A&M on Friday. And then again, Saturday and Sunday, you have to wait and see what happens, and we'll let you know as soon as we do know. But, Florida's the 6th overall seed. Obviously, the reason I'm not high on them right now is what they did not only at the SEC tournament, but in Athens the previous week. Now, again, not playing at home, but to give up 9 or more runs in 4 straight games. First time in school history. That's not good. And that's not just the second guys coming in or the third person. It's Keegan Rothrock's been struggling too. So we'll see how it all goes. Maybe the home cooking will help. The bad news for Florida, and I guess it's bad news, is that if they win, assuming it's chalk, Texas Tech is the team that would be coming to Gainesville. And Texas Tech was in the finals last year. They've got Najee is it Najee Canaday, was the star of last year's everything last year. She was just the star of the postseason. But, we'll see what happens. Who knows? They may not get out of the regional. I watched them play the other day just because there was nothing else on. And they lost. They got beaten pretty badly by Arizona State. So we'll see how that all goes. But it is certainly going to be interesting. I am looking forward to it. I always like postseason in softball. Maybe you aren't big softball fans, but, hey, you're Gator fans, right? So you're going to be watching. All right, let's get to number 3 on our Money Medals starting 5, and that would be recruiting, which we always like to talk about here on the show. Recruiting continues to do really well. And again, we have no idea how many of these guys are going to even sign, let alone. There's still guys flipping left and right. Florida's trying to flip guys. Now, again, but I am thrilled with what I keep seeing, where they keep getting these good players, and hopefully they can keep them, and hopefully they can, solve the NIL problem. I don't know if it's an NIL, if people are putting more money in, or are they just the personality of this coach is just coming through, and he's doing a great job. I'd like to believe both are true, to be honest with you. But right now, again, this is very early if you think about it, and if you go and examine it. But I know a lot of people are crowing right now in the Gator Nation because Florida's 5th. This is according to Rivals. 5th. I'm sorry, 24/7. Either way, they're about the same. 24/7. 5th in the country in recruiting. Now, one reason is they've gotten a lot of commitments. And the more you have, the higher you're going to be. If you only have 7 or 8 commitments, you're going to be pretty low. Even if you've got a 5-star and a bunch of 4-star, you're still going to be lower than you're going to end up. But I just still want to throw these numbers out at you. Florida's 5th, 3rd in the SEC, by the way, because Oklahoma and A&M are both ahead of them. And again, numbers are part of it, but they're doing really well in recruiting. Georgia just had a guy flip to Miami, a cornerback that was a 5-star. They're number 31 in the country. LSU's number 37. FSU 41. Your friends in Tallahassee, and Alabama 43. Now that won't last. We know that they're going to get other players. Alabama just got a big time quarterback, and they're going to, but I'm just excited. I'm trying not to get overly excited. I'm trying to understand the concept of what's going on here. But everybody should be happy that it's at least going in the right direction, and that this guy has so much enthusiasm and energy that we haven't had here for a while. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. All right, I may say something later. All right, let's get to number 4 on our Money Medals starting 5, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention Bobby Cox passing away Saturday. It was very hard for me because he was my guy, man. I know I'd yell at him like any fan would, but 14 straight division championships, won the World Series. Probably should have won a couple more. If Mark Wohlers doesn't groove a pitch to Jim Leyritz, they probably win that the next year, 96. Maybe they win a bunch more. But look, you just want to get there. You want to be there. You want to be in position. And Bobby Cox, and the thing Bobby Cox taught me, and I was able to interview him several times in spring training and a couple of times in Atlanta. He was a good dude. And the thing he taught me more than anything was never get too high, never get too low. Winning is great. You want to win. You want to enjoy it. You want to enjoy a beer afterwards if you're a player or whatever. But then it's over, and you got to come back the next day, and you got to play again. It's a daily game. It's a grind. And if you lose, don't get too down. And that is what I've learned about baseball more than any other sport, but all sports. When you win, don't get too up. Enjoy it, celebrate it and everything, but there's will be another game coming. Celebrate the heck out of the last one, though, if you win it all. But the tributes to Bobby Cox have been great from former players, former media members who loved him. I read one thing that my friend Glenn Sheely wrote about running into him at a gas station. And they talked for a while, and unfortunately, a couple days later, he had a stroke that, eventually was what took him at 84. But Bobby Cox was a legend in my mind anyway. And to lose him and Ted Turner the same within days of each other. And, I put John Sterling in there. He was a Braves announcer for a pretty good while. Now, he's better known as the Yankees announcer, but all those people died within, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 days of each other. And they were all people that, were a big part of my life. In fact, John Sterling did the Rick Camp homer game that everybody forgets. The Braves still lost that game. Rick Camp is a homer, the pitcher who never hits a homer in the 18th inning to tie it up, and then they went on and lost it by 19. All right, let us move along to our fifth segment, brought to you by Money Metals on the starting five, and that is Steve and Christine Windig present the Olympic Athlete of the Week, weekend, actually, and there weren't a lot of things going on with women's sports. Look, we're at the end of, the Olympic sports cycle now, and not in all sports for Gator fans. But there'll be people doing other things in other sports, and we'll get around to it. We'll figure it out. But yeah, we're kind of at the end of it. We only have baseball and softball left, and golf. Oh, golf, yes, that'll be a good one. But who I made the Olympic Gator of the weekend was Tim Walton, and here's why. I know some of you are probably mad at Tim Walton because he hadn't been able to figure out the pitching yet. Now, Tim Walton, when he came here, this is his 21st season. Florida is now in its 20th NCAA regional. 19 of them as a host. Now, that is winning a lot of games, a lot of softball games. And I think that when Tim got here, Florida had never been to Oklahoma City. It really hadn't come that close. I think maybe there was one year when they had a really good team, but anyway. I remember the last year that Karen Johns was here, and I love Karen Johns. She's one of my favorite people that's ever coached here. But they hosted the SEC tournament and the regionals, and they went 2-0 in both. They just couldn't get it going. He changed everything for softball in this community and made it a must-see event, and we'll be out there. We'll be going to see it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But 19 of 20 years. And if you want to go 19 of 21, because that's how long he's been here, they have hosted a regional. So that's great for the community and great for the businesses in town. That's, not only do you have 3 teams coming here, Florida A&M, Texas State, and Georgia Tech, taking up hotel rooms. That's great. But other people coming to watch. So that'll be great. All right. That'll do it for our Money Mental starting five. It'll do it for our first segment. We'll take a break. And when we come back, we'll talk to the HBC. See what he's got to say about softball, baseball, and where he was this weekend. It's a mystery. We'll find out on another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Money Metals Exchange is a new sponsor for our starting five here on another duly noted podcast, and we are so happy to have a group that is formed by 2 Florida grads, Mike and Stephen Gleason. They do a great job up there. If you're looking to buy or sell any gold or silver products, this is the place for you. And you can reach them at muddymetals.com. Also, phone number 1-800-800-1865. They are the place to go. They run the largest Class 3 precious metals depository west of New York. They've been voted the best online precious metals dealer in the United States by Investopedia. It's a bull market right now. Everybody needs to get in on the gold and silver markets, especially silver. So it's a great time to jump in. I looked at it yesterday. I was on the website for a while, and it was amazing how many different things they have. Coins and rounds and bars and just all kinds of special things. And I think you would have a great time just going in there and browsing. And I mean, look, the prices are right there. You know how much it is. Money Metals Exchange is the place to go. Again, Mike and Stephen Gleason do a great job. You can reach them at moneymetals.com or reach them at 1-800-800-1865.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
All right, it may be a new year, but it doesn't mean you have to back off any of your goals as far as losing weight. I know I've been working even harder on it, and of course I get an assist from BMI TeleMed. They help us out with our New Year's resolutions, even if I've already broken 2 of them. Not the food ones, though. Weight loss is your goal. Get with BMI TeleMed. They use GLP-1 medications, and they are individualized, and that's the great thing. I've been through this, and Charlie, just talking to him, it was so great to make him understand, and he understood what I was doing. It's not about just losing weight. It is about keeping it off. You know that. We're all excited about the new year, and we're going to lose weight, but when you lose it in the first month, then you got to keep going. BMI TeleMed is sensible. It's straightforward. It's affordable. No contracts or hidden costs. BMI TeleMed is donating $1 for every pound you lose to the Florida Victorious Foundation. So go Gators. I'll join the listeners on this podcast who've already lost over 600 pounds. Are you kidding me? I'm 60 of them right there. All right, contact BMI TeleMed today at 727-383-1677. Okay, welcome back to another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging and coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. It is a Meldon Monday, and Coach Spurrier is here, and we always appreciate him coming in, and we always appreciate Meldon for being a sponsor as well. It's kind of an interesting weekend. Baseball did okay. They won 2 games, and then you had softball. We find out is going to host a regional, so all that stuff was happening this weekend.
Yeah, softball and baseball are in the
They've
process
only got left
of,
right now, yeah.
Yeah, they can go a long way or not so long. It's tournament time,
Yep.
and those sports that's how you determine your year pretty much. Regular season's important to be regular season champ, but after that, the tournaments is what it's all about. But anyway, yesterday it was Mother's Day, as we know.
Yep.
So I just send out my happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, and obviously it made me think about my mom. I'm up in Bowling Green, Kentucky this weekend. My grandson, Gavin Orr Spurrier, got married, and he met his wife up there at South Warren High School in Bowling Green.
Wow.
My son, Steve, just coached there 1 year with Mike Sanford, and then he got a chance to go with Mike Leach out at Washington State. But anyway, both my grandsons, Luke and Gavin, met their future wives at the high school there in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So we went up, beautiful weather all the way, golly, and that's a beautiful town, green grass and all kind of stuff. But anyway, it's Gavin Orr. My daughter Amy sent a picture. My mom is the Orr. Marjorie Orr is
I was
how
going to
I got
ask
my
you that.
name.
Where did Orr come from?
That's where I
Yeah.
got my name. And then there's Stephen Orr, and then son Stephen Orr we call Bub, and then Gavin Orr. So we got all the Orrs. And I'm so much like my mom, and somehow or another I got into coaching, was really blessed. Steve Jr. got into coaching, and now Gavin is the quarterback coach at Austin Peay.
Wow.
So 20 years ago, we took a picture of all 4 of the Orrs with my mom when she was still alive back in '06. But anyway, I just thought I'd say my mom was the best in the world that I know of. She and my dad went to every game. We played for the state baseball championship in Memphis.
Yeah.
They got in that car, Johnson City to Memphis, opposite end of the state. Probably a 10, 12-hour drive or whatever it is. And watched us. I don't think she ever missed a game. But she was calm. She never screamed and yelled at anything. But, man, did she take care of my brother and sister and so forth. So congrats to my mom on Mother's Day. And anyway, we were up there and had a beautiful wedding and saw a lot of people that we had known from around and so forth. A lot of Duke connection.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, the
yeah.
quarterback, Riley Leonard, who played there,
Yeah.
I think, two to 3 years ago, he and Gavin were good friends at Duke. So it was a nice event, and then got back home yesterday.
Yeah, it's funny. I had your mom on my old radio show a long
Is that
time
right?
ago, and it was the week of Mother's Day. We were having all these famous moms on. So we had her, we had Brock Berlin's mom, going back. But I mean, she was
Yeah.
great. She had
Oh,
a
she-
prepared thing ready to go. She was.
I don't think I ever saw her mad at anybody in her life. And pre-game meals, she'd make me, back then you're supposed to eat a little piece of steak and steak and potato. So she'd fix it up 4 hours before the basketball game. So, gosh, that'd be about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 or 4, something like that. We played 7 or 8. And I was sort of cocky, outgoing. And I'd say, Mom, how many points you think I'll score tonight in basketball? And she'd say, Stevie, just do the best you can. that was her comment, just do your best you can. So anyway, she was really, really a special one.
You know, you say you were cocky back in high school. Where did that come from? Where did your
Confidence.
cockiness? It was just confidence.
I didn't say that out loud. I'd say it to Mom and family and stuff. I didn't say that to other people. But that was just, between you and your mom, something like that. But and then my dad, if I'd score 25 or so points, I'd say, how'd you like the way I played tonight? He said, remember that shot you missed? So it's always, you could always do better with Dad. It was, unless you pitched a perfect game, you could have done better.
And that kind of drove you, right?
That sort of establishes your way of competing, I think. You can always do a little bit better. So don't get full of yourself. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the perfect matchup, where you had your dad who was this way,
Pushing.
and your mom was
Just do the best you
was
can.
kind of nurturing, and that's
little
what
different.
often happens. But
Yeah.
so anyway, and happy Mother's Day to my wife. My daughter made a great meal for her. It was really cool, and all the moms out there. I miss mine too. She's been gone a while now, and it's not easy, but certainly was a great. I don't know if you ever had any interaction with Bobby Cox, who just passed away.
I saw that in the paper this
Yeah.
morning. Bobby Cox, 84.
Yep.
I didn't know him that well, but obviously knew he was the manager of the Atlanta Braves. Had a fantastic career.
That's amazing that Ted Turner and him both went the same week, and they were
That's right.
icons of
47.
my being a Braves fan my whole life. Really that's
They
hard.
don't.
And but anyway, well, let's move on to something a lot more interesting, which would be talking a little bit about the golf that's coming up, because we have a major coming up, PGA Championship, and I'm excited about it just because it's a major. I love majors. I live for those.
Yeah, certainly, 4 year? So that
Yep.
gives a lot of extra emphasis on the majors. But the tournament yesterday, this guy, Reatan, Reitan, I think. And I never heard
I
of
think
him.
it's pronounced Rutan or I don't
Rattan
know
or something. Yeah,
whatever it
he's
is,
from
yeah.
Norway.
I meant to figure it out.
I know he's from Norway. He's the second
Yeah.
Norwegian to ever win a tour event. But this guy was fantastic. No, a year ago he was 238th in the world. They said something like that. But whatever he did, preparation-wise, I mean, he hit it down the middle of every fairway, hit every green just about. But he putted, made all the 4, 5, 6 footers and so forth.
That course looked beautiful. I mean, it looked
It
like.
was.
I mean, it's always
Yeah.
great there.
I was halfway pulling for Ricky Fowler.
Yeah, I was too. Yeah.
God,
And we actually went out. I had dinner, and then I went back in to see what had happened. By then, he had already finished and made the bogey on.
yeah, he lost
18.
by 2. Sort of. If he'd parred the last hole, he still would have lost, as it turned out. But yeah, he played beautifully well, also, and I hope he can compete. He went off with his 2 little kids, so certainly
saw
a
that,
happy
yeah.
Mother's Day for his wife and so forth.
Yep. And obviously, I'm looking forward to another major. But obviously, when you talk about the golf that's coming up, I do want to talk to you about the live guys that are now, it looks like that's going to fall apart, and they're going to end up coming over, and McIlroy saying, yeah, come on, we're good. But it's kind of funny the way everybody was so mad at everybody, and now they're like, it's okay, we'll get you back.
Well, you have to sort of forgive them.
Yeah.
They took the money, but they're making them pay to come back.
Yeah.
What, Brooks Koepka had to pay $5 million,
Yeah.
I think I read. So all that easy cash they got up front to come back, they may have to pay a big chunk.
I got to tell you, I was watching a UFL game this weekend too. So there was,
Oh man,
it was kind of some weird games going on. But as far as the playoffs are, I think they're 2 weeks away, right?
yeah, I think they got at least 2 more, maybe 3 more games. They played 10. I think they got 3 more games. But yeah, the Renegades, Ricky Neuheisel and my son Scotty, special team coordinator out there, they had to kick a field goal from the 3-yard line to win the game, or else it goes into overtime. And a guy got in there, deflected it a little bit, and did not make it, and then they lose in overtime. So that was a tough loss for the Renegades.
Yep. Well, they're I mean, they've still got a chance to make the playoffs, right?
Oh, they got a chance. Yeah, all those teams are pretty even. They really are. Just who plays the best that day. A lot of 3 and 4, 4 and 3 teams. A few maybe 5-2 after 7 weeks. But yeah, they're still alive. But they've lost 4 in a row after winning 3 in a row. So your attitude needs a little adjusting, I guess, right now.
Yeah. Well, that's good that because I listen to Rick all the time. I know you do too. So he does a great job. And another guy who's doing really well right now is certainly John Summerall. Keeps bringing in all these recruits, and they're trying to flip some. And right now, this is what's amazing. I talked about this earlier. Florida is 5th in recruiting. Now, again, you never know how things are all going to pan out. Georgia is 31st. So. They had a guy flip the other way. They went to Miami, and it's interesting that you never know how everything's going to pan out, but it feels like they're doing a pretty good job out there on the recruiting trail.
Doing an excellent job, and recruiting is still important if you can keep them there.
Yeah.
If they're there 1 year and leave, well, hey, last year, that 5th class we had, half of them are gone.
Yeah.
So, and I think Coach Summerall can keep them here. I think the good players, the players that want to win championships and move on, of course, everybody wants to do that, it seems like, they will not leave just for the money. If it's a situation that they can make themselves the best player possible and best team possible, then I think they'll stay. But time will tell on all that.
Well, when we talk about culture, and obviously what Todd Golden did with basketball, the culture is so good that he's able to keep all these guys to come back. I mean, who knows what exactly they're getting financially, but and I think that's part of it too. I think Florida has really stepped up and started saying the boosters are tired of losing, and they're saying the only way we can get back to being good is to put money into NIL and.
Well, certainly the basketball has done that pretty much so, and football I think has. They don't.
No,
they don't talk about it. They don't
love
write
the
about
transparency,
it.
Man.
Yeah, they don't. They don't talk about it. But obviously, to compete, you got to spend with the way the other teams are. I know Dabo talks about that all the time at Clemson. That these other guys are spending way more than we are. But I don't know. You can't use that as an excuse nowadays. You can get whatever players you can get. Back in the old days, coaches could say, we can't recruit as well as Alabama. And they couldn't. But I always used to say,
they were getting trucks.
Somebody said, they used to ask me, how are you going to win at South Carolina when nobody else has? Even Lou Holtz had a losing record there. And I said,
he went 0-12 or 0-11 one year.
Yeah, he got off to a bad start. And then he had some nice 8 and 4s, maybe 9 one year. But anyway, overall, he had a losing record, and Muschamp, after me, had a losing record. But anyway, I just tell people, listen, we get 11 players on the field, and they get 11.
Yep.
And now it's us against them. If we play better and coach better, we should beat them. Simple as that.
That was something that I remember when Calipari first got to Kentucky, and they were getting all these players, and I was talking to Mike Hill. You know Mike Hill. And I said, man, I don't know. Kentucky's just going to be ridiculous. He goes, they can only put 5 out there.
5 against 5, yep.
And that's where Florida is right now. They can only put 5 out there. They've got 12 or 13 guys that can play, but you're not going to play all of them. And you can't play all of them in a game.
I tell you, the NBA playoffs. Did you see Harden the other night?
Yeah,
all those shots he made. My goodness! I mean, they're hanging all over him, and he can get it off in a tenth of a second. It seems like, and was making most of them. Yeah, that night. But
unfortunately, they're not. I started to watch the Knicks game yesterday. By the time I started watching, it was over because they ended up winning by 30. Yeah. too many of the games have not been good. I don't know. Home field seems to matter more in the NBA than it does anywhere else. Home court. I mean,
Yeah, it does. It seems like there's just something about playing at home. There's no question about it. It's not always helpful, but most of the time it is.
what was the biggest advantage you thought you had playing in the
In the
swamp?
swamp, just crowd noise and everybody's comfortable, routine, get there, same hotel, motel, get to the ballpark. So a normal routine and this, that, and the other. And we tried to do that on the road also as far as times for pregame meals and all that. So
And you always stay in the
but
same
playing in the
place, yeah.
swamp, the fans and all that, and they make it tough on the opponent. I remember, gosh, back in the '80s when I just tell the quarterback when you get up there and the crowd's real loud, just and tell the referee I can't hear,
Yeah.
and they'll come in and stop
Yeah.
it. The year we beat Tennessee, we got ahead of them 24-23. This is 1982. And I'm the offensive coordinator, and they punted dead on the 1 yard line. There's 9 minutes left, and I sent in a pass. We had to stay on the field, I thought, and they were in defense. It didn't look good, so I told Ben, make the crowd noise. So he looked at the ref and said, I can't hear. And if we got a penalty, it was only half a yard. And the ref went in there and stopped it. And I sent in a run play,
Yeah.
and the guy made 9 yards, run off tackle. And we ran the clock out, 9 minutes and 15 seconds, or 9:30, I think it was. Ran the clock out and left it on their 1 yard line. So you can't do that anymore. You can't say, "Hey,
No,
ref,
it's just,
hey, ref, I
it's
can't
a
hear."
tough luck.
Yeah,
That's
But
the
you-
advantage
yeah.
they have.
Sometimes you got to use those little rules to help you out.
Yeah, and rules change every year,
yeah,
and I
they
think
change.
that's
Mhm.
another thing. You never know what the rule's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see them get a little bit more uniform on what is and isn't a catch, and what is and isn't a
Interference and stuff.
interference
Yeah.
and targeting. I have no idea what targeting is anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, we're not that way. We're 110 days away from the start of college football
Mm-hmm.
season, so I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be excited about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you see the rankings for this year at SEC? You can't, USA Today newspaper had it in there. I think we were 9th.
Yep.
Tennessee was 8th. Texas, Georgia, and Oklahoma 1, 2, 3. Alabama was 4, I think it was. But other than that, I mean, you look at all those teams. I think Kentucky was last, and they beat us last year?
Yep.
Yeah. So
They did.
anyway,
And think about this too. Alabama was picked 9th
Mm-hmm.
in softball this year, and they ended up winning the SEC regular season. They had
Yeah.
the coach of the year. They ended up being the number 1 seed overall. So yeah, you never.
it's not the definite. That's where people see it right now. So time will tell.
We'll let you go, Coach, but first we have to get to our Campus USA play of the weekend, brought to you by our friends at Campus USA, where we both bank, and this is some of what Caden McDonald did this weekend. Now, this sounded like a Steve Spurrier line when you were in high school. 4 1/3 innings, scoreless, no hits, home run, single, hit by pitch, walk. Pretty good game.
All of a sudden,
And the great thing is he hits this opposite field, and it was raining at the time. It had started coming down pretty good.
it does look like you can see that rain on
Yeah.
the video there. Mm-hmm.
But he's really having an incredible year. And I thought it was interesting that Sully talked about him, that he goes, sometimes the guy, you don't think he's ready, and then all of a sudden you guys get hurt, and you put him in, they do great. You're going to play him. So.
Yeah. That's what sort of gets me about all the colleges. They talk about who's going to be the quarterback. I was reading an article on Tennessee football, and their fans are a little upset because they went 8-5 and lost to Vandy. And the writer is going to say it's going to depend on who he picks as quarterback. Well, not. I mean, he's got 2 there. If one goes bad, why not give the other one a chance? That's what I don't understand. They said whatever decision he makes will determine. I said, wait a minute, if you got 2 quarterbacks that are pretty evenly matched, man, one's having a bad day, play the other one. But I don't know. People don't see it like that, but I do, because I think you have a team. The team's more important than just the quarterback. Obviously, quarterback's most important. We all agree with that. But he's not way up here and the team down here,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
anyway.
Well, that's what with Ole Miss last year.
Yeah.
Austin Simmons was their guy, and then Trinidad Chambliss ends up being
That's
their guy.
right. Exactly right.
He's probably the front runner for the Heisman this year.
Yeah,
So,
teams win. You need a quarterback, but if you got two, you can win with two. Because I know half of my conference championship teams, 8 of them, 4 times, 2 quarterbacks played about even the whole way.
And that's the way I kind of look at
Yeah.
Florida this year.
Yeah.
With Tramel Jones and Aaron Philo.
Yeah, they could do it.
Neither one of them has
Yeah.
any real experience. And so if
They
one
could
goes in
both
there,
go. Yeah.
or you could just,
Yeah.
by the third game, you make a change.
Yeah, exactly.
Going to Auburn. I know
All
that
right.
Don Gaffney won there his first start.
That's right.
In 19.
Shoot, yeah. Teams win. Need a quarterback, but sometimes you can put a Noah Brandeis in there.
That's
and
right.
Win.
He did put the fat dog in
Walk
there.
on. He never lost a game he started.
No.
Noah Brandeis.
Absolutely.
5-0, I think
He was
Unbelievable.
pretty good. All right, we will take a break. We'll come back. Robbie Andrew will be here for Yes, No, Way, or Maybe. Always appreciate Coach being here. And we'll be back with more of another Duly Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios right after this break.
By now, you heard about the Florida Legends Experience and Gala, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Warfel, and Steve Spurrier, all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at fllegends.com. That's fllegends.com.
Adams Rib Company has been a staple of Gainesville for more than a decade and a staple of the Dooley house ever since Kelsey's teeth came in. The first time I walked into Adams, I told my daughter that the green beans are always a test of a great barbecue restaurant, and they were perfect. You know about the ribs that melt in your mouth, and my favorite, the turkey plate. But be sure to go in on Fridays for Nana's Fish Nuggets. They will melt in your mouth. Adams Rib Co., a Gainesville great.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, 2 things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Welcome back to another Duly Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, and coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Had a good time talking to Coach. Now we'll have a good time doing Yes, No, Where, Maybe with the great Robbie A. Andrew. Robbie A. Andrew, how you doing?
Hey, Pat. Good. How are you?
How's Melinda Bauer?
Fine, I guess.
That was classic stuff from your wife. It was good.
It was.
Yeah. And I know she had a great Mother's Day, too.
Yeah, it was nice and quiet. I made chocolate chip pancakes for her, and we called up for food. It was a good day.
I was lucky. Kelsey decided she was going to do everything, and she bought her presents, got her flowers, made dinner. It was an unbelievable dinner. So I was off the hook. I used to watch sports all
You
the
were
time.
off the hook. But yeah, I got Jill Tommy Houck T-shirt. She loved it. So
Ah, very nice. So now she's got a Houck and a Condon.
yeah, she's covered.
She is. Well, hopefully she gets Chinyalu back, because
Yeah,
we'll see what happens there.
that'd be a bonus.
Yep. And I'll buy her a T-shirt. How about that? We'll do that. If
Okay.
Chinyalu comes back, I'll buy her a T-shirt.
Okay,
A Chinyalu T-shirt.
I like
All
it.
right. It is time for us to play Yes, No, Where, or Maybe with Robert Andrew. It is brought to you, of course, by our friends at Big Mill's Cheesesteaks. Street dining done the right way, man. It is great over there. And I was over there having a hamburger the other day. And I may go there again. just to hang out. It's a great baseball theme as well, and free fries
Yeah,
with your order.
their food is great, Pat.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, it's everything you can possibly ask
Yeah.
for. A lot of variety. And if you mentioned that you listened to the podcast, heard Robbie Andrew, you get free fries with your order. And they say they get a couple every week, so it's good.
That's good.
All right, let's get to number one. Robbie, Florida's recruiting right now is part enthusiasm and part money.
Well, I'm going to say a definite yes on that, Pat. I mean, Summerall's brought this great energy to the program, and people seem confident. They seem confident, the staff. I think the players have felt that, and I think the recruits are feeling it too out on the trail, that this is a guy that's going to win. It's a matter of when. He's brought excitement and energy to a place that didn't have any the last couple of years. And so it's a natural thing when you get a new coach, but his energy is just off the charts, Pat, and I think that's rubbed off. But, that's part of it. But the money thing is also part of it now, and that's the world we live in college athletics, that you got to have the money along with the energy, or you're not going to put a top 10 class together.
Yeah, it'd be great if we could have transparency here, and we would know, because they've almost done too good, and you're wondering how much of that is financially,
and
I
wonder how much can you offer a kid that's still in high school? I mean, you can promise him, I guess, what he'll make when he gets here, but how do you do that?
I think you say basically, and I assume that he's doing this, and I never know because, but you say basically, here's where you're slotted. If you're a running back, you're going to get this much, and you're going to get this much if you start, and you're going to get this much. That I guess that's how they do it. I know that's the way, as I call him, Sleepy Billy, used to do it, who did not bring a lot of energy on the recruiting trail.
Not at all. But this thing needs to be regulated eventually, Pat, where there's a salary structure, like you said, or whatever. You can't. It's just out of control right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know that there is an answer. Everybody thinks, Congress will solve it. No, they aren't going to solve it.
No.
It's a state's
That's
issue.
been proven.
Yeah. I don't know. It is what it is, and hopefully Florida can take advantage of it and keep it going. And I know there's a lot of people who think this is going to be another big week for them. That they're going to flip some guys, and we'll see.
Yeah, apparently they've set up well, Pat. Like I said, everything's positive right now, and the energy is, like I said, off the charts. So just keep riding it right now.
One reason it's positive: 0 losses for John Summerall.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's get to number 2 on Yes, No, Where, or Maybe with Robbie. Rory, number 2, Rory McIlroy, not Rory Williams. I don't know where I got Rory Williams from.
I don't know. Roy Williams, maybe.
Yeah. Rory McIlroy will win his second major in a row this week.
I'm going to give a real shaky maybe on that, Pat, but maybe, but doubtful. I mean, he didn't play good this week. His driver, let him down, was usually in part of his game. He's usually, down the middle and long, and he didn't play well this weekend. He wasn't in contention.
Yeah, this
and then
Saturday killed him. He had shot 75.
Yeah, and the word is that he was limping around the course there the last day or two, and so maybe he's got an injury issue as well. So
I discovered what it is. He's got,
what do you got?
He had a blister on his toe, and he said that
that's not that bad.
It'll be fine. All I could think of was I could think of 2 things. One is Ringo at the end of Helter Skelter going, "I got blisters on my fingers," and the other was Mark Knopfler in "Money for Nothing," which is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah,
got a blisters on your fingers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He's got a blister on his toe, though. So.
So he'll be able to deal with that. But I mean, is his game major ready right now? But when the majors come, he's there. So we'll see.
Well, and that's the other thing is he did take off from Augusta to yesterday.
Yeah.
To that week. So I think I gave him a good warm up, and he's ready to rock and roll. I'm rooting for him. I want him to win. We'll see.
But the fact he took all that time off may be the reason he got a blister on his foot.
He's got blisters on his fingers. All right, Robbie, let's get to number 3 on Yes, No, Where, or Maybe with Robbie. Right now, Robbie, you're a little jealous of my Braves.
I'm gonna
we have
say
a 9-game
no
lead. We have a 9-game lead.
I'm going to say no way. I'm not jealous. I'm happy for you. And I mean, now you have a reason to follow baseball. You've got a great team. They're in contention. They're in the lead. And, a month ago on here, we talked about our teams in first place in their division. And I told you then the Twins weren't going to stay there more than a day or two because they just aren't that good. They have a terrible lineup, injured pitching. So by the end of that week, they had fallen out of first, and now they're in the basement, in the bottom of the Central Division. So right where I thought they would be. But, so I'm not jealous. I'm just not following baseball anymore, but I'm pulling for your team. I mean, it's great that they're playing like they are, and I haven't followed that closely. It looks like they're maybe the best, most complete team out there right now.
Yeah, I got to watch them yesterday because they were, it was on the MLB network, so I watched a little bit of it. I haven't watched them a whole lot. I just keep seeing all these great highlights. But they're up 9 games right now, and and by the way, isn't everybody in your division under 500 now?
I think so, Pat. But we're way under 500, like 5 or 6. But when you dismantle the Dodgers like the Braves did yesterday, then you're doing something right.
Yeah, they're playing great defense. Great, they're getting better pitching than and now they got Spencer Strider back, so that's kind of fun.
I'm happy for you, Pat.
Well, you know how it is, Robbie. Before the season, like everybody was the doomsday from the Braves because they had all the guys that got hurt, the pitchers, Hurston Waldrop being one of them. Whenever I say the word Hurston Waldrop, I always have to do this because I'm thinking about him throwing that splitty. And then I'm like, well, the Red Sox are supposed to be good, so at least I've got that. Now the Red Sox suck, and the Braves are destroying everybody. But you
would rather have the Braves destroying than the Red Sox. So
absolutely, the Red Sox are my side team.
Yeah. My side team has become the New York Knicks, Pat. Now, because of the way they're playing, I've gotten into the NBA playoffs, which has kind of been, a distraction from worrying about baseball anymore.
I've gotten away from the playoffs because they're winning by too much. I don't know if you saw this stat, but they have the best 10 games winning. You won by the most amounts in the history of the playoffs for 10 games, the most ever. That's pretty impressive.
It's amazing how well they're playing. I didn't see this coming, really, but going to enjoy it while I can, and you enjoy baseball while you can, hopefully all summer.
You know what's coming down the road, though? OKC, baby, eventually.
I know.
But you're in the finals for the second year in a row.
They have to get to the finals. They need to get to the finals first. So.
Yeah, but you're in the conference finals,
Yeah. But OKC's going to win it all again, probably.
Yeah, but hey, I think for the first time, people are actually saying, "Hey, I think this team has a chance to beat OKC." So, I don't like dynasties, so I'll root for your Knicks, and you root for my Braves. There we go.
I will. That sounds good, Pat. Got a good game plan.
It's a good game. Got a plan. Not saying it's going to work.
Got a chance.
All right, Robbie.
Hey, see you, Pat.
Okay, always great to have Robbie on the show. Brought to you by Big Mills Cheesesteak. And, of course, he's coming to you on the Big Mills Cheesesteak Zoom line as well. Let us move along to the place right next door with our Adams Rib Co. Gator of the Weekend. Brought to you by our friends at Adams Rib Company. The best place to go to get your barbecue, and you know that. All right, now, look. Caden McDonald's the obvious choice, but I didn't do that because that's not the way I operate. You know that. I'm trying to come up with different people. And I made it Brendan Lawson, and here's why. Because the hit he had on Friday night, I'm not saying it was a season changer, but it was ginormous. 3, bases loaded, all 3 runs score. He ends up at third, scores on a wild pitch. That tied the game up. They ended up winning that game on a walk-off by Kyle Jones, who didn't play the other 2 games with a turf toe. But then on Sunday, he hits a homer to help Florida get that win. That was a big home run, too, because don't forget, they had just taken a 1-0 lead to start the game, and it's an early game, and you're like, oh, man. And he hits a homer to tie it right back up. So hopefully he's got it going a little bit again. He's been struggling, and I know some of it's been sinus problems, and I suffer from the same thing he does. And but hopefully he's got it going again, and if he does, That's going to be good for the Gators. There's no question about that. When you can put him second, Kyle Jones will be back from that turf toe. It's a pretty good lineup there now. I haven't been able to say that too often this year because, when Hayden Yost starts hitting the way he's been hitting, and then you got McDonald and you got, Sear, I don't have a problem with this lineup. Of course, I will on Thursday when I'm like screaming at the TV, but I do that sometimes. All right, that is our Adams Ribco Gator of the weekend. Let us move along to our Leonardo's at Millhopper quick pick. And we are going to give you 2 more chances to qualify here. These 2 games, they're Tuesday games, so if you don't listen till Wednesday, you aren't going to be able to qualify. But those of you who have qualified, we've got your stuff written down. Many of you picked Florida to win that game Sunday, so I got that. We've got a lot of people who have qualified, but we will make a poll on Thursday, okay? And you're going to win $25. Somebody's going to win $25 at Leonardo's and Millhopper, and I may throw another prize in there. I'll let you pick what that prize will be. Now I've got a bunch of books, my 100-year books, 100 things every Gator fan needs to do before they die. That's a book. The last book I wrote. It was a long time ago, but it's still the last book I wrote. And I got a bunch of copies because I have some other contests on Patreon, some other contests for the Main Street Daily News. But the last week was I'm trying to remember who won. But anyway, I sent him. He asked for a book, but I'm going to offer some other prizes too, and we'll see what you like. Whatever you want, we'll send you. We'll make you happy because we want people to keep getting involved in the Leonardo's at Millhopper quick pick. And Kyle, we appreciate too. I sent a bunch more of the things that Kyle, the Patreon subscriptions that Kyle has a monthly subscription that you can get for free as a gift. And I've sent a bunch of those out. I think we're almost at them, but I may sneak a couple more out. Anyway, appreciate Kyle at Leonardo's and Millhopper. All right, 2 games. That's a long way of saying nothing. Cubs Braves Tuesday night. It's a big game, man. At the Braves, by the way. And OKC, I think they can eliminate the Lakers on Tuesday night too. I'm pretty sure they can. They're out anyway. They're done. But that's the games. So because it's at LA, maybe you're going to lean that way. I don't know. But anyway, just put a vote down. It's 2 chances to qualify. Not 1, but 2. And we appreciate anybody who gets in our Leonardo's at Millhopper contest. All right, let us move along to our BMI TeleMed Overachiever of the weekend. Brought to you by our friends at BMI TeleMed, our weight loss specialists. Achieve and maintain. Look how good it's working for me. 727-383-1677. Tell them Pat Dooley sent you and you'll get a discount. All right, our Overachiever of the weekend. Well, it really wasn't of the weekend, but it is kind of the weekend because I kept seeing these ads, these commercials for the PGA Championship, and I got all tingly and everything. It kind of snuck up on me. I didn't realize it until like last week that it was coming up. But the reason it's the Overachiever of the weekend is I remember when the PGA Championship was, and this because I'm old, I can remember this, was so unimportant that it almost felt like it wasn't a major. And I think that's where the players kind of felt like, hey, we could take their place. And don't forget, the PGA was in the summer. It was the last one of the year. In fact, I remember being out at Destin in Pensacola, giving speeches in August of Gator clubs, and that's when they were playing it. And then they moved it to the beginning, and they moved the players around. And now they seem to have found the right spot. I think it does help that it's the second one, and now it's just as big a deal. Really, I mean, I'm sorry. It's a major. If Jordan Spieth wins, you think he's not going to be happy? Now, I will say that the rank, I think, is still, Masters 1, U.S. Open 2, British Open 3, PGA 4, but it's a lot more interesting and a lot more important than it used to be. So that is overachieving, and I can't wait to watch this weekend, this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Although Thursday's supposed to be a beautiful day, so maybe I will. Maybe I could find a way to watch it outside. Oh, I'm thinking about the swamp. All right, that is our BMI TeleMed Overachiever of the weekend. Let's get to Hesser and Kipke. We always love our friends at Hesser and Kipke. Let's get to our three things. Hesser and Kipke, with over 50 years of combined legal experience in North and Central Florida, Hesser and Kipke is your place for bankruptcy, workers' compensation, and family law. Call or text Ken and Jennifer at 352-339-9920, Hesser and Kipke. Okay, number one on our Hesser and Kipke three things is the news that came out this weekend that Steve Kerr is coming back. Now, he's going to be back for 2 seasons. That is, $15 million I think he gets a year. I wonder what Billy was making. I got to find that out. And I wonder what Billy's going to do now. I don't know. I got to find that out as well. But anyway, Steve Kerr, who I love the guy. I've told this story a million times about hanging out with him in Omaha at the basketball tournament one year. We had a great conversation, and I'm a big Warriors fan. So I kind of wanted to read as to why he came back, and there were some pretty smart people that know what is going on there. One reason he came back is he doesn't want to walk away from Steph Curry. He wants a couple more years with him. He's still playing at an elite level if he can stay healthy, and he wants that, which I get. They're not going to be as bad as they were this year. And the other reason is that if they had pressed him right after the season ended, he probably would have said, "I'm done. I'm finished. I'm ready to get out. I'm ready to." And there was a rumor that ESPN had offered him $7 million to come be an analyst. I'm sure he could be an analyst anywhere he wanted for any amount of money he wants, because don't forget, that's what he did for CBS when I was hanging out with him at the bar in Omaha. But anyway, I'm just happy he's back, and I'm happy he's happy with it because he's an interesting dude. Number two, let us move along to our Hesser and Kipke, on our Hesser and Kipke three things. Number two was what did I just tell you about Bobby Cox? How he taught me never get too high and never get too low, right? So what happened yesterday when the Braves beat the Dodgers? I ran out into the living room and started doing a dance in front of my family because they had taken 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. That was not the Bobby Cox way. That was wrong. But I still did that dance. And I think a lot of it, not only is, and my oldest daughter loves the Dodgers. She goes to games out there. But I'm it's not as much anti-Dodger anymore as I am pro-Braves, obviously. But the Braves, to win 2 out of 3 from them, told me they're legit. And that's on the road. That's a legit team. That's not a fluke. And they handled them. They got Spencer Strider back now. He was touching like 97 on the gun, the guy who had been hurt. And the fact that they did it on the weekend of Bobby Cox's death, I thought was really great. In fact, it would have been great if Walt Weiss had gotten thrown out of the Saturday game, because Bobby Cox will have a record I don't think anybody will ever break. I think it's 148 or 153 ejections, almost an entire baseball season. So anyway, that's number two. Number three is in basketball. Last night on their Hesser and Kipke three things, Victor Wembanyama gets ejected from the game in the second quarter, and the Wolves end up coming back and winning, and that evens that series at 2-2. I didn't see the play live. I'm watching the highlights today and went, oh my, that is not good. That is intentional. It is a flagrant 2, and that's why you get ejected. I'm all in favor of that. If those referees had been doing the Florida-Iowa game, Florida might still been playing in the tournament. I'm not going to get into that again. But anyway, that was certainly, he's got to keep his cool. I know he's a very young man, and he's incredibly talented. I love watching him play, and we'll see. By the time we get done with the show, we may find out whether he got any kind of other suspension. I hope he doesn't. I want to watch him. I'd rather watch him play than not play. But anyway, it's 2-2 now in that series. All right. That is our Hesser and Kipke three things. Let us move along to our Gallo Car Wash. Sponge of the weekend brought to you by our friends at Gallo Car Wash. They do a great job of cleaning your car. And we go there, and I think Kelsey was going there after she dropped me off today. So that'll be cool. The sponge of the weekend by far was the NBA, because the NBA managed to turn what could have lasted 5 minutes into a 30-minute show. I thought I was watching Barbecue Pitmasters, which should be about a 5-minute show too, but it goes an hour. But to drag the lottery out the way they did, okay. And then apparently they two ping pong balls came up with the same team, so they had to put one of them back. Now, the funny thing is, all the Pacer fans are saying that it's rigged because they dropped down a spot. Look, the bottom line is there are a lot of good players in this draft. This is a deep draft. I watch these guys all play in college. I know what they can do. It's going to be wherever you draft is going to be fine. But the Wizards end up with the number 1 pick. John Wall was there. He was the pick the last time they had the number 1, 2010, I believe it was. Anyway, we'll see. I'm kind of excited about the draft. I would go with AJ. I can never say his last name correctly. Dibantasa, whatever it is. I listen to guys say his name all day. I would go with him. Now, here's the reason I would go with him over Darren Peterson. And it has nothing to do with the fact that he was out with cramps. He said the reason was creatine, whatever. Okay. I just think he's a better player. I think he's the guy that will be the guy that you will be talking about 10 years from now being a great player. I know that. Anyway, that's who I would take. And let me tell you what, if you took Cameron Boozer, I wouldn't be upset either. Now, I don't care whether the Wizards are any good or not, but if they've got Anthony Davis and they've got Trae Young and they get AJ, I'm not going to try his last name anymore. That'll be pretty exciting. They'll be worth watching. All right. Let us move along from our Gallo Car Wash Sponge of the Weekend to our Learner Law Club Team of the Week. And it is brought to you by our buddy Matt Lerner at Learner Law, the place to go if you want to get your house closed on, do all the closing costs for you. He'll get it done. All right. The club team of the weekend is the Florida women's flag football team, which was named by University of Florida its club team of the year. So congratulations to them. We're not far from a day when there are going to be flag football college teams all over the country. Now, I think it's a bad time for them because of what financially is going on in the world of college sports. And people are cutting programs and cutting teams. So I don't know that it's going to happen real soon until we get the other things under control. But eventually I think it'll happen. And it's in the Olympics, right, coming up. So anyway, flag football. And I actually was watching some Ultimate Frisbee this weekend. I watched about 15 minutes of it. It was actually really good, really interesting. Anyway, that's our Learner Law Club Team of the Weekend. Let's get to our Mark Gaida presents our the 12. It is brought to you by our friend Mark Gaida at Pepin Realty. They do a great job over there. We're just going to give you the 12 softball C's. We've been giving you off and on, the RPI rankings and everything. This is what it ended up. Number 1, Alabama. Number 2, Texas. Number 3, Oklahoma. Is there a theme here? Number 4, Nebraska. Number 5, Arkansas. Number 6, Florida. So that's 5 of the top 6. Number 7, Tennessee. All right, so that's 7 of the top 8. It pretty much dominated. UCLA at 8. FSU at 9. FSU's not happy about that, apparently. FSU beat UCLA during the season, but FSU now would have to go to UCLA if they match up. And again, Florida would match up with Texas Tech. But anyway, Georgia 10, Texas Tech 11, Duke 12. I think the SEC ended up with 8 or 9 of the seeded teams. So amazing year for the conference. Mark Gaida presents the 12. All right, let us get to our Los Linderos Smooth Move of the Weekend, brought to you by Los Linderos. Go beyond with Los Linderos Tequila. Like an Urban Meyer special team play. It is smooth as they come. And the smooth here were the New York Knicks, who boy, did they take a lot of smooth shots on Sunday. It was almost unwatchable because they never missed. And Philadelphia scored 114 points and lost by 30. That's not good. But the New York Knicks are our smooth team of the week. I know Robbie would like that. 144 points. And like I said earlier, 10 playoff games. And I don't know what the number was. It was plus 180 or something. That's the margin of victory they've had. They're playing at elite level. No question about it. All right, that is our Los Linderos smooth move of the week. And let us wrap it up as we always do with our Swamp Games of the Weekend, brought to you by the Swamp Restaurant, the place to go for watching all these big games, watching the PGA this weekend, watching Gator softball this weekend, watching Gator baseball. There's so many things you can watch, and the food and the drinks specials are great. The Swamp Restaurant. All right, let's start with softball. Softball plays at 11 o'clock, as we mentioned earlier. And the good thing for those of you who are trying to find a TV to watch it, it's on the SEC network. Now, I can't give you the game times or the TV times for anything else because we have to wait and see what happens. But that is the the Friday game from next week. I wanted to let you guys all know that. Not next week, this week. It's this week. It's Friday this week. I wanted to let you know that. It was on the SEC network. All right. Baseball, I also wanted to let you know this. Florida plays a Thursday, Friday, Saturday like everybody does in the SEC. 7:30 against LSU. It's on the SEC Plus. If you're going to watch baseball, not Gator baseball, but Braves baseball, which is even better. No, it's about the same. Cubs at the Braves, as we mentioned earlier, 7:15 on TBS. They should start that game at 7:05. That's when all the TBS Ted Turner games started. Just for old time's sake. And then OKC LA, that game at LA Lakers, 10:30 on Prime. Now, 10:30 on Prime means I won't be watching, but I'll tell you about what happened. And also the PGA. I'm giving you a lot of Thursday stuff. There's not much going on this week other than that the Braves and Cubs and some NBA games. But again, I can't give you all of them because I don't know them yet. PGA, if you're looking for it, 6:45 in the morning on Thursday. So when Zach and I are doing the show on Thursday, I'll have already watched 4 hours of golf because I'll get up at 6:45. It's 6:45 to noon on the Plus and 12 to 7 on ESPN. So that's just Thursday. We'll give you the rest of it as we go forward. All right, that's going to do it. Thanks again to Zach Rothrock for doing an amazing job putting this together and getting us through another day here on another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. Thanks to Coach Spurrier. Thanks to Robbie Andrew. We'll be back on Thursday with Eric Rett. Cannot wait for that interview. We'll have a good time with him. Until then, I am Pat Dooley saying I am deep, I am way back, and I am out of here.